Hi everyone, Steve Gonza, physical therapist here with Run Smart Online. I've been getting a lot of talk. I've been talking a lot about Midfoot Project and the ability to get off of your heel and all the benefits it has: less braking, less impact, faster running, less injuries, all the great stuff that you want in your running. And we had some people come on and talk about transitioning themselves and learning how to get off of their heel and start running midfoot just by kind of going through Google and finding stuff that they want. Now, before I get started, if you want to learn more about the Midfoot Project, go to the link in this post or midfootproject.com. We're having a 5-week course where we're going to drop all of our knowledge on you in a 5-week training on how to transition safely so you can do less braking in your running and all that other good stuff I've been talking about. Now, I want to show you this runner. This is just kind of give you a little backstory. This runner came to me in the physical as a client or a patient in physical therapy with calf issues, Achilles issues, and some plantar fascia stuff that was on and off. It wasn't too severe, but really the calf and the Achilles were really sore. And he mentioned that he was running slower despite the fact that he made these changes to his run form. They thought they were working. So needless to say, kind of get to the point, we got him up on the treadmill. He was able to run without having too many symptoms. So I just wanted to see, what am I dealing with here? I never know what I'm going to find when someone says that they've been working on the run form themselves. I've been doing it for 10 years, and there's those little tweaks that you can make to someone, the way that they think about it, to really dial it in. When we first started doing this, it took us a lot of time to get the right drills in place that make people think the right way, and then to do it safely to transition. So it's really scary sometimes when you see what people come back with in their own run form. So I'm going to show you this guy. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to see if this plays. Let me know if you guys can see this. Just type yes in the comments if you can see a guy's foot here. I think it's working. And he should be running. We're going to slow it down a little bit. A little error there. All right, so take a look at this guy running. And I'm just going to stop right here. So we're going to go back and we're going to look at him pushing off. So let's just take a look at this back leg here. So he's at the push-off phase of running, right? I'm going to draw some arrows on here just to be a little fancy. This is what we do in our analysis. So he's pushing off here. And whenever you push off, you want to maximize your force going forward, right? You want to minimize your up, and you want to maximize your going forward, right? Because if you're going to push off, and if you go up, what up goes up has to come down, and you want to run that way, you don't want to run that way. So we want to make sure we're maximizing that force. The problem with what he's doing here is that we're going to see it on the front end of his stride. So let's just roll the footage and tape here. He pushes off. Now I'm going to pause it right here. Look at how high up in the air this gentleman is. This foot is so far off the ground. And if I zoom back out, his whole posture is extremely high. This is a perfect example of someone who's launching themselves in the air. I'm going to show you in a minute what he's doing to launch himself up, because if you're going to change from to a midfoot strike, which I definitely recommend you do, because it's going to decrease the shock to your body, it's going to let you run faster by not doing this start-stop cycle in your running. You can't do this. So he's launching himself up because he's springboarding. I like to think of it as a diving board. That's the way I've been describing it over the last couple of years. So just imagine, it's kind of like you walk up to a diving board and you jump on the end and you have that huge lower down. And what does a diving board do? It springs you straight up in the air. Now, when people make this transition to try to get off their heel and run a midfoot strike, they often make this mistake of getting too far forward onto their foot. And that's what I'm going to show you with this guy. So as he goes forward, if you have any questions, definitely drop them in the comments when I'm doing this, because it's a lot of crickets and you guys are watching, but I want to make sure I'm answering your questions. So look at his foot. Let's go back down and zoom in on this. See how his foot's pointed down here? We're going to go one more frame. Look at the elevation right here of how elevated his foot is off the treadmill, or his heel is. So let's do that. You see how the pitch of his foot is downward? So what has to happen here, and you're going to see it here in a minute, is his heel has to come down and settle. That is the diving board motion that I see with a lot of runners, is that when they try to make this transition, is they diving board down. So let's watch here. See how his heel lowers all the way to the ground? So now he's flat. But what that does, again, it's kind of like a diving board. You run up to the diving board, you jump on the end, and it throws you up. He just landed on his diving board and he settled. Now what's going to happen at the end of his stride is that diving board, which is your Achilles tendon, very elastic tissue, is going to launch him way up in the air. So let's go through, and you already saw it at the last leg. So let me go back here. All right. Get rid of that. He's coming towards push-off. All of that diving board force has been stored in his calf. Remember, that's his injured spot, his Achilles in his calf. And then he launches. There's the launch. Way up in the air. Look at how high off the ground his foot is here. And then what does he do? He comes back down, and you can see again that pitch of the ankle, and then a settle back into the diving board. You cannot do this and successfully run. This runner had Achilles issues, calf issues, a lot of stuff going on because he tried to make that transition from a heel. I can assure you, getting off your heel as a runner is super important, and it will help you run faster. It'll help you protect your knees. And I work with runners over the age of 40 every single day, and that's really key, kind of the key demographic, and that's the runners I enjoy working with anyways. So that's the key demographic. There's one thing that can protect your knees over the long term, which is the kind of the scary spot for a lot of people. It's learning this kind of foot strike. Again, we're running the Midfoot Project that starts on April 1st. We're going to teach all of this so you can do it properly. Because you don't need to get in there and just destroy your calves trying to do this solo. So if you're interested, again, go to the midfootproject.com. There's a link in this post. Don't treat your body like a diving board. You will not survive, just like this guy didn't. It's just not going to be pretty. But hopefully that helps. This is the second time I went live today. So hopefully, if you guys have questions, let me know. I'll go live and I'll just talk about your questions and go through this stuff before we get ready to launch. Just real quick, the Midfoot Project, if you haven't heard of it, it's a 5-week training course where I give you all the trainings. You work with me personally with Pat O'Connor, who's the co-founder of Run Smart. We lead you through the exact system we've been using for the last 10 years to help runners run midfoot properly so they don't do what this guy's doing, and they don't heel strike. So if you're interested, take a look at the link. We're going to be started soon, and hope everyone has a great day and a good night, and thanks for watching. Bye. How do I get out of here? There it is.